Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, pull a U, park in the street in front of the music school with the red neon light. Listen at the very end. Dave will tell you how to have your very own podcast here in our studio. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And we are here today with kind of new friend by association, kind of know of each other, Terri Lachance, musician.
Yes.
Yes. Works with Rob DeSorbo, the one and only.
Exactly.
Right?
I always call myself a singer-songwriter and I call him a musician.
Oh, okay. So is it the Terri and Rob show or the Rob and Terri show?
Well, that's something to be said. I call it the Terri and Rob duo. And
okay.
people have reversed it. And Rob's like, no.
Oh,
it's Terri
good.
and Rob.
Okay,
because
that's cool.
I'm the singer-songwriter and the songs we play are my songs.
Okay, I got you.
So that's why.
And he's cool with it.
And he is cool with it because we're playing my songs. He's supporting me in my project.
Yeah.
So that's why it's Terri and Rob.
And plus, he's a nice guy.
He's an awfully nice guy.
Yeah. So that's cool. How long you been working? You guys been doing your thing?
7 years.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying that you actually went to high school with him and didn't know him.
Kind of. I went to high school at the same place as him, and he had a band, and people knew of the band, and I had heard the band, but I didn't know him particularly. And what ended up happening was I went to the Cypress with the Carter Brothers.
Yeah.
And I came in as a solo act, and they would always encourage me to take somebody with me. And so they were saying like, well, we'll give you a guitar player or we'll give you a bass player.
Yeah.
And they're like, Rob, will you play with her? And Rob is such a sensitive and listening person that even me just starting out playing with anybody, because I was always a solo act, he backed me up. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, like, hey, we could play some together, and
cool.
And so we ended up doing that.
And the Terri and Rob duo were born.
Was born, yep.
That's cool. At the Cypress, more or less.
Yes, exactly.
That's pretty cool. I had them on. Did you know that?
The Carter
both
Brothers?
of them, yeah, they were both here. It was great. It was actually really cool.
It is.
It's wild.
They probably finish each other's sentences
and
stuff.
Yeah. It was wild, though. That's a wild story.
It is.
And
I came at the very end of it because I was there for the end of the Cypress, but I wasn't there for years and years.
Well, you're not Glenn Miller, or whatever. They were. That like the big bands used to pass through. It was the only joint open.
Wow.
And they would
So I don't know the whole history. I don't know anybody's.
Then watch I'll give you the link. It was like in the first year that we did this. I had them in. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So tell us about yourself.
All right. I'm a second grade elementary school teacher by day and musician and singer-songwriter all the rest of the time. That's what I usually say to people.
Yeah, right.
And it's turned out for some reason, beyond my control, I am now a music promoter in lots of different places that sort of took over its own life, but I'm actually really, really enjoying it.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool. And you just kind of fell into that.
Oh, yeah. What ended up happening was I ended up going to the downtown coffee shop in Meriden.
Okay.
And a man named David Cooley.
Where is that?
It's on 33 West Main Street in Meriden.
Okay.
Across from the police station.
Oh, all right.
There's music in there every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Oh.
Every single Saturday.
Okay.
And what ended up happening was David Cooley, a man who knew Bonnie Jacobson and all this connection between, all of us. He was putting musicians in it to help promote the business because they were a fledgling coffee shop.
Sure.
And so I lived in Cheshire, and I said every once in a while I'd go, do you have another date?
Yeah.
And once a month I'd kind of go play. And then finally he said, Terri, let's have breakfast. He goes, I can't be in this coffee shop every Saturday and promote musicians. He goes, would you like to do that? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right.
So I ended up putting on Facebook,
yep.
Hey, does anybody want to play the downtown coffee shop? And all of a sudden, people just signed up, and it was then COVID hit, and I had people playing. I had people playing all through COVID.
Wow.
Outside in the freezing cold.
Wow.
They played for a meal and tips.
Sure.
And people came and hung out outside, bundled up.
Wow.
Anyway, so if you go in that downtown coffee shop now, it's packed.
I haven't been there in a while.
It's packed.
Yeah, I lived in Meriden.
Packed.
Wow.
And what ends up happening is people are coming weekly. they are. I will say that the owners are throwing a little something in the tip jar, but for the most part, it's the tips and a meal.
Wow, so it's a community for real,
It is a community,
it's supposed to be.
and I've been saying this so I live stream from there every Saturday.
All right.
I take pictures of the artist that's there. I tell them how to get to the downtown coffee shop. Every single Saturday, I do my thing, and then what ends up happening is people are showing up. Weekly people are the same people are showing up.
So they don't even care who's playing. They just know that. That's the way it's kind of supposed to be, right?
A lot of people are doing
trust the venue, you trust the vibe, and you just go, "What do you got?"
Yep. And what ends up also happening is the local people that live there, are like sitting at each other's tables. Like, oh wait, you don't have a spot to sit? Like, come sit with me. Hey. And I'm like,
this is all the best. It's the whole point of
sitting
on my car.
Wonderful, so wonderful.
Yeah.
So I feel like I fostered it, but it was all like happening, around the music, and they're big supporters of music, and it's actually obviously helping their business as well. That's so cool. They realized, and when COVID hit, they actually came to me and messaged me and said, when can you start music again? Like, we'd have no customers, And I'm like, well, the numbers are high. Like, we can't have people in this time, but we can play outside if it's not too cold. And, and we kept music going the entire time.
Wow.
I think there was like a 2-week time period where we didn't have musicians.
Wow.
And it was like February. Like, it was snowing and cold. Like, nobody could play.
Wow.
It was too cold. Like, they couldn't play for 2 hours,
Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess people it connected with them.
Right.
In a real way.
Yep. And now I do that also at Shayna B's by the Sea in Westbrook.
Oh, wow.
So since September, so I said, I can't do this on every day. Like, I could only do this on a Saturday. So on Saturday, I go to the downtown coffee shop every Saturday that I can be there.
Yep.
And I promote the musician who's there. Sometimes I play, but sometimes I rotate myself in.
Sure.
I rotate my friend Denise Jones in because we both go to the coffee shop and hang out with the musicians and promote them.
Right.
And then I'd run to Shayna B's by the Sea in Westbrook, and I'm doing the same thing there since September.
Both on Saturday.
Both on Saturday.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I go from 11 to 1 is the first musician, and 2 to 4 is the second musician. And I told Christine at Westbrook, I said, I want to do this because I want your business to grow, and it's really doing well in Meriden. I said, but I need driving time between the two places.
Oh, man.
Because I can't teleport. So it has to be 2. Like, your musician has to start at 2, and they close at 4, and they're also feeding them a meal.
Wow.
And they're paying them a little bit, actually.
Yeah.
And every single Saturday is a musician there as well. And I just run back and forth between the two every
People
Saturday.
People are there at 11 in the morning to see music.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they are. They open at 7 a.m.
Wow. People, it's a coffee place.
It's a coffee place. Yeah. It's not like a night gig.
Yeah.
So people,
Hey,
and musicians show up. And I, of course, constantly say, if you're a musician, come. Because you're supporting another musician. If you're on the roster at some point to play here, make it an effort to come every once in a while to the coffee shop to support another musician, because otherwise a musician's playing in a vacuum of nobody else supporting them, other than the clients that kind of walk in and out, you know. And so people are coming, which is nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's really been working out well.
Yeah.
And so, so that's my,
so there's a lot of people
my
out
unpaid
there.
profession.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there playing music.
Yes.
A lot of people.
Yeah. And what I like, there's a lot of people. And I would say about 3/4 of them are no repeats.
Oh, wow.
So I like go through a whole year and like it's all new people and then I come back to the top again.
Wow. That's kind of cool.
It is cool.
You didn't even know. Did you know there were that many people?
Well, I knew because I have friends and I go to open mics a lot.
Oh, okay.
And then some of these people that I'm putting in, they've like thanked me. It's literally their first gig.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And then some people are seasoned musicians they like, and I call it jonesing, but it's not really jonesing. But, like the people that like, I haven't had a gig for a while, could like just like, a coffee shop gig, and I'm like, I could do that. But you're not playing till like December or January or whatever.
Get your act together.
And I just put, them on a long list. And I the list is in the coffee shop so people can like take a flyer and they know all the musicians that might be playing at some point.
That's cool. And then when does Terri and Rob play?
Well, Terri and Rob don't play that much. We're in the studio.
Okay.
We've done ta-da! six CDs.
Wow.
And, together, and we're doing our 7th, actually.
Okay.
But what ended up happening was, and I know, like most of the world who's going to listen to this knows this, but Rob and I were a couple a long time ago. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Well, we were a couple a long time ago, and we are still very good friends.
Sure.
And we, play together. But we knew that eventually, like, we can't play together all the time because people think when they see us that we're a married couple, or that we're together, like, as a couple.
Right.
And so we kind of needed to spread out a little bit more in some ways.
You need to see other people.
Yes. And then, not that once again it matters because my life is an open book.
Yeah, sure.
But I came out as gay, like, 2 years ago. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. So Rob and I are very, very good friends, but we'll never be together like that again.
That's fine. Yeah.
So it's all good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Where do you guys play when you do play?
We do play like locally. I mean, so we play.
My mom saw you guys.
Yes, I don't remember where we were playing.
I don't either.
Might have been the coffee shop. Might have been somewhere. I don't know where we were playing.
Yeah.
But we have played restaurants together. We've played farmers markets together.
Yep.
And there are times when I'll say, because now he does things like he does the Pine Loft on Thursdays. Well, if I get to get on a Thursday, like, I'm not going to ask him because I know he's busy.
Right.
Right. And he also plays with the bands, and he plays with lots of other people.
So you'll do a solo gig.
Nope. What I end up doing is I play with a man named Bruce Hazard,
Oh.
who is from Cheshire.
Okay.
Who I've known for many, many years. He actually used to come to my kindergarten. Like, when I taught kindergarten, he would come to our school and he would do a presentation of instruments.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so then I saw him somewhere else, and he was like, we knew each other.
Yeah.
And I said, do you want to play? And so when Rob was busy, I would ask Bruce to play with me.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening was now Bruce and I play more because he plays washboard and fiddle and spoons.
Oh, that's cool.
And I will say, because I call myself like a singer-songwriter,
Yep.
and I don't know all that much about music,
Wow.
but in regards to music itself. But so what ends up happening is, like, I play my song, and he plays fiddle, or he plays washboard, or he plays spoons, or he plays, something, or all around my music. And,
that's cool.
And it's very, very cool. And my music is
and that's
my
different
music.
from when Rob plays with you.
Right, and
it's
then
a different thing.
then when Rob and I play, but Rob and I host a few things together.
Okay.
We host the Buttonwood together. We see each other twice a month.
Okay.
On Monday, the first and the third Monday of the month, because we host that. He will help me with the Nightingales open mic, which is the second Friday of the month.
Okay.
And then I run an open jam at Shana B's by the Sea,
Right.
where I'm putting musicians in. But on one Sunday a month, the first Sunday of the month, I will just put up the equipment and, do that, and let people just play, and people come, because it's like they kind of know that's when it's happening.
Yeah.
So we get, and of course Christine, at Shana B's is thrilled because people are like, all piling into her place.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, and it's working out really well for me because I sold my house in Cheshire, where I lived, and I live in Madison, in a 400 square foot, like a cottage.
Yeah.
That's right across the street from Hammonasset. But, like, I can't have open jams in my house.
Yeah, right.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
So I pretend that Christine's
That's your
by
band
the
house.
Sea is my house.
Yeah.
Like, I can, and I'm like, Christine, do you care? Like, we're going to have an open jam in your place. And she goes, no, I love it. Like, I love the music, And she's a super busy woman.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is, like, I'm bringing a party to her location.
Yeah.
And I'm pretending it's my house. I'm less like my living room. And people buy her food, and
right.
like all the stuff from the, bakeries and, and the meals. And I'm not entertaining the guests.
Right.
Like,
it's a win.
Oh,
it's a win all around.
Such a win.
Wow.
Yeah. So it works out perfectly.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wow. You should build a tunnel, an underground passageway.
I have
so you
to
don't
do
have
something.
to cross the street or whatever.
It's like, I don't even know. And people are like, when, I'm busy. Like, I love to be busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a full-time teaching job.
Yeah.
And then I'm like running on Saturdays and running on Sundays. And I do play gigs. Like, I'm playing at the Barn, in Groton.
Okay.
On the 27th, from 5 to 7.
Wow.
And then I play at the Prospect Kitchen sometimes.
Wow.
Which, is a lovely, lovely place to play.
Yeah.
Gorgeous
Never
place.
been there.
Oh, and the food is delicious.
Where is this?
It's in Prospect.
Oh, okay.
It's and then and then I also, I take guitar lessons now, and I take voice lessons, and my voice lessons are in Prospect.
Yeah, right.
So I decided to better myself after all these years.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's been lovely, but that, my voice teacher lives in Prospect, and she plays at the Prospect Kitchen as
there
well.
you go. So it all works out.
Yeah.
This is what they call networking, even though we
exactly.
don't use it.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did music all start for you?
I was always a singer.
Yeah.
And I used to tell this story a lot. When I was in day camp, I didn't know this, but I was like 5 or 6. And when we had rainy days, the counselors used to ask me to come up and start the songs.
And this is where?
At like day camp.
I
was in Granby. I was in Simsbury, but I went to day camp at High Meadow Day Camp. And I think it was in Granby.
Okay.
And they, the counselors would say like, Terri, come on up.
Yeah.
Do you know how this song goes? And I figured that now as an adult, I figure they must have asked me up there because they were afraid to sing. Like they didn't.
Oh, right.
They didn't think they were going to be on key
or
whatever.
Yeah.
And so they just picked me because they knew I would start the song probably in the right key or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But they always asked me
They must
up.
have recognized it.
Yeah. And so I figured, they must have thought like I had a voice enough to like start the song or whatever because they didn't feel comfortable enough.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, it was fine. And then
I wonder what they did after you moved on to.
Well, I don't know. I was a counselor for a while. I was there. I did stuff. That's so funny. Yeah. And then I started to play guitar in middle school, and then I started writing songs right away.
Oh yeah.
I had a lot of angst, so I figured, put it in a song.
Wow.
I wrote lots and lots of songs. If something was
all
bothering me,
about the same
songs.
boy, probably.
Oh, partly. Yeah, kind of. Like, there were love songs for sure.
Yeah.
Love gone wrong songs.
Yeah.
That was the beginning, I'm sure,
Yeah.
of all that angst, as a middle schooler.
Sure.
And then it's, broadened because, the world needs changing, and
Sure.
I have things to say, and there's things I think about, and,
Sure.
and I'm really loving the direction of songwriting.
Oh, yeah.
Like obviously like I had maybe 3 or 4 years ago, like all of them were social justice songs.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know?
Right.
And then I went to, changing the world songs.
Sure.
And now I'm, and I wrote one whole CD about my children.
Hey.
Yeah. Like all the songs I've ever written about my children.
Oh,
are
I
on, like,
put them all in
CD.
one place.
Yeah. And then, and so it's been working out really, really well. And I'm in the studio again to write, I'm working on another CD.
Okay.
And so it's Rob.
Yep.
And Brian Caudill on drums.
Yep.
And Chris Abbott on lead guitar.
Okay.
And then I have guests.
And where do you record at?
I'm with Ira.
Oh, cool.
At Riverway.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yes, that's
Makes
the
sense.
connection between all of us.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I've done 5 of my 6 CDs with Ira.
Oh, wow. Hey, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And
that's
this one's
cool.
with Ira as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That was a wild story. I didn't know him at all. Rob turned me on to him.
He's a wonderful, wonderful man.
Yeah.
And humble. And you're like, this is what I always tell him. If I had known the first time, like what his life was like.
Right.
I would have been scared.
Sure.
So scared.
Yeah, but
to
he doesn't
sing in front of that man.
But
right?
he doesn't care.
And play and sing because I'm a very simple guitar player. Blah blah blah. I write my songs, and he's like, oh yeah, they used to ship me here, and I used to play with.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, like, I'm making this up because I don't know, but like, Eddie Van Halen and I hung out, and and whatever. But he would drop a name every once in a while, and I'd be like, oh, thank God I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I would have not been able to sing in front of you,
Right.
knowing the people that you've been connected to in your past.
Well,
like what I'm saying, because it's like it. I can't explain it, but I fangirl a little bit.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we all
I'm
do.
taking. I don't know if you know this person because but I'm taking voice lessons with Leanne Lovelace.
Oh yeah. All
right.
Yeah.
Phenomenal voice,
Yeah.
right? A phenomenal presence, like beautiful person.
Yeah.
Gorgeous person, like just a beautiful person.
Yeah, she's on the list. I'm trying to get her.
Oh,
yeah.
she's phenomenal,
Yeah.
right? And like such a real and beautiful, beautiful person, right? And so the first time I had a lesson with her, she goes, "Oh, just do this, with your mouth," and and I go, Leanne, I hear everything that you're saying. I go, and I'm mentally taking this as a note or whatever. I can't do this in front of you.
Wow.
She goes, why? And I'm like, I'm too intimidated. Like, I need to take a little while, because I'm such a fan. Like, I don't know if I can sing in front of you.
Oh,
you
wow.
know?
Yeah,
and now I can. Like, it's been I've had lessons with her since September, and she's like, like Terri,
Yeah,
and I'm
right.
like, and I was the same way with my guitar teacher. I was so in awe of my guitar teacher that I would like practice till I thought like I was good, flawless, like whatever. And then I'd get there, I'm like bumbling around.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
I hear that all the time.
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, and she's, and she would be like telling me these things, and I'd be like, no, I really could do this in my room alone, like much better.
I hear that all the time from my students. That
Yeah.
They all go, I was just practicing before I got here, and as soon as I get here, I can't do it.
Yeah, and that's pretty much how it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm better.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's fairly typical.
Yeah,
You know.
and the thing is, you need time, like, because I picked these people on purpose. Do you know what I mean? To teach me, because I needed someone that was going to allow me to be vulnerable and really make mistakes in front of them, and feel like they're being constructive, but not too mean, so that I feel like I'm, not getting hurt by the person telling me, what I'm trying to say, giving me feedback.
Yeah.
Because, I'm, people are sensitive, and I'm sensitive in my own way, and I don't know, you don't want to show your vulnerability to the wrong person sometimes.
I guess.
That's how I am, I guess.
Well,
so.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I don't know. I just asked the stupidest question in the world. I almost just said, boy, did you ever teach? You're literally a teacher.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I understand how that works,
Right.
And I can see, like, when someone is good at it and when they're not good at it. Like, and I'm not saying that, we're all flawless. Like, I am completely flawed. But I want somebody that I can, that I trust is giving me the right direction, the right information, that is knowledgeable, whether,
Yeah.
And the fact is that, like I did, I think I picked like the best of who
Well,
I
I'm
could
sure they
pick.
know what they're doing. Like I say, but as a teacher, I spend most of my time, well, I shouldn't say most, but I understand that of building a comfort level. You have to build that however you feel like you need to.
Yeah.
And each student's different. You realize,
Well,
make mistakes in front of them, your own self, so that there's permission to be,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't expect, you figure out how everybody responds. I'm sure they do the same thing.
Yeah. Well,
so
I mean,
you're not intimidating.
And the thing is that I always know you're going to grow from someone you respect. You're not going to grow from somebody that is intimidating to you or forcing you or like being, what do I want to say, like a dictator to you. Like, no one's going to be able to do that. And so I always feel like the person has to, trust you enough to take the next step. And that's how I feel like I am in a classroom.
Yeah,
And this is how I know I've got the kids are getting there. So in my classroom, I wear a pencil behind my ear.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'll look and all the kids will put a pencil.
Yeah.
Like
and then
behind their ear.
They want to be like you.
Yeah. And I'm like, yes. Like now they're open to like taking new information from me, because I feel like, yes, like they'll, and they try to, not that it matters either, like, but it's, something.
Yep.
I wear earrings that have a message every day.
Oh.
And so the kids try to guess like what my earrings mean every day.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, you need to get your morning work done first. Once you're checked off on your morning work, then you can take a guess at what the earrings mean.
Yeah.
And they're like, and it's stretching them. Like it's really stretching them.
Yeah.
Like today I have a ladder and stars, and they're like, ladder, stars, and they're little kids. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So they don't always get it.
Yeah,
And,
they don't know that saying.
And they're like, climb up to the stars, and I'm like, yep. You
Boom.
got it.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're like, I don't know what you're saying. They have no idea.
Yeah,
I'll put like a heart,
Yeah.
like love, the world, or
sure.
just stuff to kind of,
Sure.
do my thing.
Yeah.
And the kids are like getting it. It's kind of fun. And then, and now adults too,
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
what do your earrings mean today?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I do that with kids sometimes. If I need to kind of move them along, instead of telling them they need to move along, I'll like hold them back a little bit and over explain so that they get impatient, and then he thinks I can't do this, and then they have to prove something to me, and they'll blast it out.
Yep.
And they don't. I'm just like, yeah, I just got them, because I'll do that, like purposely underestimate him, even though I'm not, because I need them to.
Yep.
They want to impress me, so And I'm just like, good, okay.
And I've taken lots and lots of classes on how to be a teacher.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I'm making it up.
I know, I understand, but I'm just saying I did. Because I'm a certified, teacher.
Sure.
And I set up kids to, by saying things like, like this is going to be really difficult, or I think this is going to be super hard, and like they're like, but it wasn't. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
I do that all the time.
Yeah, because you don't want them to think it's going to be easy and then it be too hard. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
You want them to think like this is hard and no, hey, I did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you want them to be on the opposite end of it.
Yeah, or sometimes
you don't want to be
the opposite.
Frustrated.
Or I always, and then we'll stop talking about how we manipulate children. But if I show them something, I'll be like, and I know that it's going to be difficult. And I'll just say, it's kind of, but I go, for you, you're going to be fine with this. This is not going to be a big deal. But for some people, this is, and then I'm sure they're thinking, well, I don't want to disappoint this dude because he thinks I can actually do this. And I'll go, but you're ahead of, everybody thinks they're ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
But I'll go, this is not going to be a problem for you. I'll walk you through it and you'll be fine. But this is, for some people, this is tough. And then then they try harder because they don't want to disappoint me.
Yeah.
And I just kind of move them along like that.
That's awesome.
Why not?
I mean, the thing is that you have to figure out what works for each kid. Like you saying,
well, I have, not to sidetrack, but I have the advantage in that they're just signing up for private lessons. So I don't have to hit a mark by a certain point with a bunch of kids. So I always look at it like I'll tell the parents, like, obviously you want progress at a certain pace, but I'm just like, look, as long as there's forward progress, I don't care if it's that or that. It doesn't matter. As long as we're moving forward and not moving backwards, I'm satisfied. I don't put an expectation as far as like you say, I have to reach this because then you're like putting speed on. I'm just like, look, every kid is going to learn at a different pace. So as long as we're getting something done and I feel like the dots are connecting, we're moving forward. As long as there's forward motion, we're good.
Yep, I get it.
I guess where cliches are born, it's quality, not quantity.
Yep.
Always. But anyway.
I totally understand it. And like I said, I've been teaching for 40 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know it is.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is all good.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. What else?
Well, I will say, I'm a doer. I'm a worker.
Yeah.
I'm a person that likes to keep busy.
Yeah.
And I do.
Yeah.
I think it's just nice the fact that we have a community.
Yeah.
I do a daily original song from my classroom.
Oh, wow.
Before the students arrive.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun. And what I've been doing, so I've been doing that for almost 2 years now.
Oh, wow.
And what I'll do is, so the first year I randomly took my songs, and like I was like, I don't know, I was repeating them and doing whatever. This year I took all my original songs, I copied them on the copy machine, I put them in a folder, and I literally take one a day.
Wow.
And like, so it wouldn't repeat until I had to repeat.
Wow.
And so from the day one of school this year, I did one a day.
Wow.
And then what I also did, which I'm so proud of myself, and I talked this over with a friend, is I link the actual recording from the CD to my song of the day.
So most of them are recorded.
So yeah, they're all, well, not all, but if it is.
The ones are. Yeah.
So I put the actual link to the recording. I write who was on the recording. So I'm giving homage to the musicians that played on that song. And then I'm also live streaming it from on Facebook every single morning.
Yeah, right.
And so I've got people that tune in, which is nice,
Wow.
and people that check in on me because I mean, even though I'm a crazy person and I'm out a lot and I'm I'm never home.
Yeah.
I am a single person and I live with a cat, and so
only one
cat. Yep. And
all right, so you're not that crazy.
I guess not. And then, but people have the ability to check in on me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
so
I
they
show
know,
up
okay,
every
she's
morning.
Here.
Yep. You're in your classroom. Like you made it from, Madison to, to Cheshire.
That's
and,
cool.
so people know I'm where I am kind of.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's good in a way because, I'm surrounded by people, my tribe.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not necessarily physically with them.
Yeah.
And I feel like it keeps me connected to the people that I really want to stay connected to.
Right.
The people that are important to me, because I can't obviously see them all the time.
Yeah. Just literally social media at its best.
Yes, and I feel like I'm doing all the right things with it.
Right.
In a lot of ways, because I feel like, well, I am an open book. And then I jog in the morning. So, okay.
Are you into sleep? When does that happen?
It happens. It does happen. But what I do is I get up in the morning. I get up early because I have to now drive to Cheshire.
Right.
So I get up early. I jog and ham an acid every morning.
Hey.
Which is lovely,
Yeah,
right?
that sounds terrible. Yeah.
And then I get back in my car or whatever, and then I drive to Cheshire. But what I'm doing is, and then I do my vocal warm-ups.
Sure.
Like on the way.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I get there, I'm still adrenaline run, like kind of. So what I end up doing is I play my original song, and then I like talk about whatever's on my mind
Yeah.
for like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I just rant for a little while about like, what the song reminded me of and things that are going on in my life or whatever. And I feel like I probably say way too much, like about who I am and what I am and all that stuff. But I feel like I'm a real open book because I just kind of spew everything, that whatever is going on. Or then I talk about, what I'm doing, who I'm seeing, what's going on, what's coming up next.
That's cool.
It's good. But I feel like, I mean, people could literally, what's that? I don't remember the show, but there was a show. It's not a real show. It was like Jim Carrey, where he was physically being watched every moment.
Oh yeah, like the Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Yeah. It's like I feel like I might be like a little bit of the Truman Show, only because I don't care. Like I really, most of the time, I really don't care. Like you can know anything you want. You want to ask me something? I will literally tell you. It does not matter. You know? So what do you want to ask me?
That's pretty cool. Well, what was it like before social media?
Yeah.
How was it? You
see, I wasn't a musician then, really.
Oh, okay.
Because what happened was I raised children. Like I was a single mom.
Gotcha.
So what ended up happening was, so this is kind of fun in a way. So I learned how to play the guitar when I was like 12, right? Sure. And then I started writing songs, lots of them, right? And then I went to college, and I played my guitar there and stuff and wrote some songs.
Sure. And
middle school, wrote some songs. And then I went into the Peace Corps.
Oh.
And then I brought my guitar, so I wrote songs while I was, overseas. And then I came back.
Where did you go?
I was in Tunisia, North Africa.
Wow.
So like a Jew in a Middle Eastern country.
Sure.
Which is kind of cool. And it was very interesting. I stayed 3 years. And then I came back, and then I got a teaching job, and I started all that. But I always wrote songs. Like I wrote songs, but I didn't perform them very much, right?
Right.
So I ended up going to open mics, and I went to an open mic in Bristol, like one of the, for a while. It was called the Common Ground, I think, right?
And this would have been what year? About
83,
okay.
82, 80 something,
Yeah.
Anyway, so they were like, we like your songs. Would you like to open up for somebody? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like 23 or something. I opened for Dar Williams.
Hey.
Yeah, but I mean, she
cool.
was just starting out.
Yeah,
she was
right,
a Wesleyan
right.
probably then.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I opened for Dar Williams, you know?
Yeah.
And then I like opened for the Neighbors a couple of times, which,
sure.
that band.
Yep.
And then I lived with the people from the Gus Factor.
Oh.
I don't know if you know these people.
Yeah.
Like, and they were just musicians that were around in Milford and all that.
Yep.
And I was teaching. So I, lived with musicians.
Yep.
And I'd go to all their bands and their
Yep.
gigs and stuff.
Yep.
And every once in a while they'd have me come up and sing. Hey. And I was terrified. I could only do one song. The same song every time, And then I got into like, playing like coffee shops and all that stuff. And then I started thinking, well, after my kids grew up and went to college and everything, I'm like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to music.
Put them all together, all the songs together.
Yeah.
Start recording them.
Yep. And playing them out again.
Yeah.
And then I started writing more, whatever. But it was just the whole idea that like I was constantly playing and constantly recording.
Yeah.
And constantly like making the songs and writing the songs. But like I barely played them out.
Yeah,
when my kids were little because I was a mom and I ran around
and you
with
didn't
them.
record them back then in any kind of way?
Well, I had people record every once in a while from the board. Like
right.
Like I'd get a
but not
cassette
like now
tape or
where
something.
You kind of make a record. You kind of could,
Yeah. So I had cassette recordings of like a whole set of me playing or whatever, which I probably can't even play on anything anymore. Like I don't even know where they are.
Right. Yeah.
But I had people record me here and there, But that's why I when I started recording CDs, I feel like that is my legacy.
Right.
I feel like, and I will say, like, my kids are not that thrilled, I mean, they're okay, but they're not that thrilled that I'm like actually write songs. And, my daughter, I played in Burlington once, Vermont, because that's where she lives. And I got a gig at like the Radio Bean, which is a nice little place, right? And she goes, Mom, like, don't sing any songs about me.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Oh, boy.
Yeah, she's
Cross
like,
those ones off the list.
Yeah, and I mean, and I have, obviously, like a whole CD of songs about my daughter.
Yeah, right.
And my
don't
son.
Do that one.
Like, don't do any of those,
That's funny.
Yeah, and so they don't listen to me. Like, they don't really.
Really?
No. And my, if I told my daughter, like, oh, come to one of my gigs, or she, like, she might, but like, they're not into that. My son would never listen to me.
Really?
No.
What are they into?
Well, my son's in college.
Okay.
He's 25. He took 2 years off, and now he's back in school.
Huh.
And
so they just think their mom's crazy. Basically.
Oh yeah, they probably do. I mean, my daughter and I get along okay, but I'm still crazy. I'm still a mom.
Someone's got to be crazy.
Exactly.
In this world.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter. I think my daughter, which was fun in a way. And she said it a couple of times now. She goes, I always thought like adults had their lives together, like 100%. And now I realize, like, no,
yeah,
they don't.
It's weird, right?
Because it's a facade, when
Right,
you're
sure.
when you're raising children. Like they think you're perfect, all that. And then all of a sudden they get to be older. My daughter's 27.
Right.
And she's like, you know, and I will also say, like, and it's probably, like, I know she, doesn't care, but like she's a gay woman. And I'm like, and now we're like both gay women, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
wow.
and it's just interesting. Like we're kind of figuring all this out together, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah, there are no adults.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, and we're constantly changing. We're all on our paths. We're like trying to figure it out.
Sure.
Yeah. I will say, like, I feel like I'm true to myself, like as much as I possibly can. I try to be true to myself.
Well, that's all you can be.
Yeah. But I'm definitely a flawed adult. Like I'm not a perfect person by any means.
Oh, well.
Yeah. And it's okay.
Who is? I mean, I guess some people think they are.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily, I used to think this, if you were perfect, it meant like you didn't exist anymore. Because you weren't fun. How could you be fun? Like, how could you do anything? How could you even discern yourself from another person?
Right.
If you were like perfect.
Right.
Because you'd be like kind of boring.
Yeah. I would think so.
Because there'd be nothing for anybody to talk about you or with you. Because it would be like nothing. Like there'd be nothing there. So you have to be flawed for people to like actually appreciate who you are in a way.
I think so. I mean,
because it's your individuality that kind of is imperfect.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's
maybe too deep for today.
No. I had a thought way back about that. You were saying how, because I do this, I guess a certain amount. I mean, I'm a drummer, so I'm not necessarily a songwriter. I mean, I've had moments, but I mostly am the professional that's brought in to the singer-songwriter scenario in the studio or whatever. Yep. And I just think it's funny because you run into a lot of singer-songwriters that are shy in front of musicians because they think that I'm just going to go, oh yeah, it's one of those, it's this or that. And it's like, well, I might be more of a craftsman than an artist, but with no creators of songs, we have nothing to do.
Exactly.
So it's a different thing.
Well,
and I don't look at songwriters as if this is a good or a bad song. I just think to myself, and you could pretty much tell, like, is it your own personal direct expression? Mm-hmm. If it is, no one could express yourself better than you. So that's all it is. It's just, Is this what you meant to say? Can I help you say it? And that's it. I don't leave the session going, wow, that song sucked. I don't think of it like with the kids. I don't think about it. Are you a good drummer? You're not a bad drummer. I just go, what are your goals? Are we moving forward? And that's it.
And that's perfect. That's exactly how. That's a very good way of doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because because in my opinion anyway, because what I feel like is when you're doing it that way, you're not assigning bad or good. You're assigning like, what is the purpose of that person?
Is it authentic or not?
Yeah.
And that's it. There is there is nothing else. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and people have told there's lots of things people have told me.
Oh,
one, no. What I'm there, people have said, you write such unusual songs. They don't
compared to what?
Compared to other people, I guess, or whatever. And I'm like, because I literally know nothing about music. Like I have no technical background. But that's fine. No, it's fine. Or my guitar teacher was like, here's some notes, like play, write a song using these, right? And then I wrote a song, using those notes or whatever, right? And those chords or whatever. And she goes, that chord right there, that's usually a passing chord. Like you're using it at the end of a line or whatever, right? And I said, I liked it there, and she was like, yeah, it doesn't usually go there. But see, the thing is, but for me, I don't know that because I don't know where normally, people would do it because I don't have that technical background. So I did keep it where I wanted it, and it was fine. Like I liked it and everything else. And people are like, that's kind of novel, and I'm like, it's not novel. It's the way I put it together,
Right.
Which is fine with me. I'm all good with that,
Yep.
So that's one side of it.
Right.
Then the other side of it is that people will ask me, do you write all of Rob's parts out for him? Like, when you go into the studio, do you have like certain ideas that you want the bass player to play or whatever? Yeah. And I'm like, nope. Yeah. I go, I play my song. Yeah. The lead guitarist does what they feel is best. Yeah. The drummer, Brian came in with notes. He listened to the, rough drafts or whatever. And he goes, I'm going to use, and he had, real purposeful things like I'm going to do a roll here before you start. Sure. I mean, I'm going to soften it here. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, let's see how it sounds. Yeah, I'm not coming in with any preconceived notion. And that's the same thing with Rob and I. I would play my song and Rob does what Rob does best. Yeah. Well, he just plays. Do you know what I mean? And, if there's a break, he does, he puts in his, his like the, what do I want to say? The
embellishment?
Yes, that's exactly the word I was thinking. You just read my mind. Yeah. Embellishments. And, and he does his thing, if there's a big break, like he can do a solo, like, what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And I'm not conforming him. I'm not saying like, like I don't like the way you played that part. Like we never have ever done that. Like never. I never gave him any notes to say like, every once in a while, the only thing I would say is, for me, because if we play with like at open jams or something like that, I'm like, I feel like I'm jumping rope and now someone's taking a solo, and now like, when do I jump back into it? Like, boy. Because I don't know. Like sometimes I can hear when it's resolved or something, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know when to come back in. Like I need a signal. I need somebody to tell me something or like to give me a nod or something, just to give me that feedback. I'm sorry, feedback, because I don't know sometimes a little bit like about those kind of musical things. And I'm getting better and better. Like I've been doing it now for, a lot of times. I'm at open jams all the time. And people get up.
You can't help it.
And people come up and you've never played with them before. Yeah. And you just do things. And I'm getting, it's just been wonderful actually.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
It's magical.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when someone plays a song, like one of my songs with me, like, oh my God, I'm like in awe of what they've brought to the table, Yeah. And that's been like so wonderful because, I'm playing, 3 or 4 chords and my words are important to me. Yeah. But like I don't, I can't play leads. I don't play, I don't play solos. I don't play, what I'm trying to say. And so everybody that's doing that on my CDs is like magic. It's so magical.
Well, that's cool though.
Because love it.
It covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. No, rules are overrated.
Of course. But what I'm saying is I don't know what they are, so I don't know I'm breaking them.
Stay that way.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's working for me.
I don't know if this is a long way to go. See if this makes sense. This is the thought I had that everybody's going to hear now.
Yeah.
You know who Meg White is? Do you know a band called the White Stripes?
Yes.
Have you heard of them?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
2-piece band.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard them, yes.
Okay. They're no more.
Yeah.
And there's been a debate. Somebody dissed Meg White on Twitter or something. Some writer I don't care about.
Yeah.
And she's one of these people, like, she doesn't know the rules at all.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But she creates something completely unique, like you're saying, because she's outside of it entirely. And this person tweeted, "Oh, White Stripes would have been so much better with a good drummer." Because drummers are weird. They get hung up on technique.
Yeah.
And you have guys that go, well, to be technically proficient, it requires whatever. And she's kind of sounds like how you're describing yourself. Of just
a little bit, but yeah. Because
it's just a direct expression, which is beautiful in and of itself. And my thought lately has been, hey, fellas, how about both? How about you like this on its own terms and you like that on your own terms? And we don't judge it as far as like, well, she didn't put the time in to do what this guy did. I got to be honest, 9 times out of 10, I kind of prefer these people rather than those people, because you're telling me what you know. You're showing me how you feel. And that I'd rather hear those people generally than
I
those
understand
people.
that completely.
You know what I mean?
Because sometimes people are technically wonderful and they have no soul.
Right. I guess that's what I'm saying.
I understand it completely. Because I think if you're going to sing that song, and this is just how I am as a singer, if you're going to sing that song, you better feel it.
Yeah.
It better be real
Otherwise,
to you.
what's the point?
Because what's the point of singing it? You're singing someone else's words to like express, nothing that has anything to do with you.
Right. Well, that's why we need artists. We need writers of songs. Otherwise, musicians wouldn't have anything to play on.
Exactly.
Is there anything else? I have we're getting close. I have kind of wrap up questions, but I want to make sure that there's nothing that you wanted to.
Well, I mean, you can always find me, and my music.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm Terri, Terri Lachance.
Yeah.
And
make sure we get that spelling.
That's okay. Yeah. Just the fact that if you look up, Y or IE or whatever, you're not going to find me.
Yeah.
And it's Terri and Rob Duo. All my music is listed under Terri and Rob Duo, like it's all on Spotify and all the platforms and everything.
Right.
Everything that I write is under Terri and Rob Duo. So it's Terri and Rob ROB Duo.
Yeah.
Terri and Rob. And
cool.
And I feel like that I wanted it all under the same umbrella. And I will say I had to fight with Spotify.
Oh boy.
Because one of these CDs is Terri and Rob Duo +2, right?
Oh boy.
Right? And it said, Terri and Rob Duo +2. They're like, that's not the same band.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, it's literally the same people. We just added 2 people to the duo.
Right.
And they're like, well, it's listed differently. And I had to fight
And what does
with
that
them.
mean?
It didn't mean anything to me, but what it meant to me was if someone searches for me, they could find 5 CDs, but they couldn't find the 6th.
Find that one.
And I was like, they need to all be in the same location. Like, this is what I've accomplished, and all of them should be in the same location. So I had to fight with them. I had to take off the barcode and repaint, do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Just so you could get
all the CDs in one spot. Yeah. Well, and so now and I feel bad because, like Chris Abbott's on a lot of them. Brian Cottle's on a lot of them. Right. I have guests. I had, Bobby Pickett do some stuff. Like, I can't list anybody on the CD. I list it on the CDs, the credits and everything. But I don't list anything on the CD to change the name of the CD. Like, it has to be Terri and Rob Duo in order for it to feel like that's where you'll find it. Yeah. Which is kind of sad.
And then all you did was add a +2 and
it messed up the whole dynamics there.
Yeah, that happens.
So I feel bad. Like, it always says Terri and Rob Duo, but there's literally lots of musicians helping to make that that are not Terri and Rob. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
So I give credit wherever I can. That's what I try to do.
Of course. Yeah. Killer. All right. Desert Island albums. Are you a lover of music?
I am a lover of music.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have specific albums.
Yeah.
But I have specific people like Bonnie Raitt.
Sure.
Love her.
Sure.
Love her.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
people.
yeah.
And I feel like she's somebody to emulate in the biggest way.
Sure.
I am actually, I understand, like, I mean, I like, Bob Dylan for his songwriting.
Sure.
And I understand the process because he has a lot to say, and he did it very articulately, I listen to the Indigo Girls a lot.
Sure.
I listen to Tracy Chapman a lot.
Sure.
I listen to Joan Osborne a lot.
Sure.
And I listen to Natalie Merchant a lot.
Wow. Yeah. Hey.
Because I feel like they have something to say to me. And now that I drive a lot, I like deep dive into certain people and like listen to everything they have recorded.
Yeah,
like
right.
Over.
Yeah,
and
I do
over
that. I
and
do that
over.
too. Yeah.
And so for a while I've been like Indigo Girl happy, just like everything they've done.
Yeah, that's
like the
cool.
obscure, the the best, the worst, the whatever it is that they've got out there. And I will listen to Tracy Chapman sing with Pavarotti, but like I don't like it. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I don't understand how those two
wasn't even aware.
They did it. Yeah, they have a recording of, one of her songs and they sing back and forth or something. And I'm like,
don't know about that.
Yeah, like I mean, I appreciate the fact that they brought two people that were so unusually together.
Yeah.
But I think, like,
is that recent?
No, because I mean, Tracy Chapman probably hasn't recorded anything in a while. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, she sang a like a duet with Pavarotti, and they go back and forth. He does his in Italian, and she sings her, English lyrics. It sounds to me, just from the recording, that they weren't in the same room.
Yeah,
right. Like they offered their parts to get, separately. I don't know, but who knows? Because I'm not the recording expert there. But and I'm not saying I don't appreciate what it is.
Right.
But I just think, that's a little unusual.
Yeah.
To have those two people sing together.
Well, I guess you don't know till you try.
I guess. And like I said, it has its place for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I push the button and click over that one.
Yeah, well,
sometimes
that's okay.
sometimes I think, I should probably listen to this and kind of, try to understand it better.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm always trying to check out something that
but I guess I'm more old school in some ways,
Hey, Bonnie Raitt won a Grammy this year.
I know.
I know. Funny. No one was more surprised than her.
Yeah, probably. And
cool.
she deserves it.
I mean, of course.
Yeah,
nobody's better than that.
Exactly. I took my 13-year-old daughter to see Bonnie Raitt and Taj Mahal together.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And my daughter, who was a teenager, who could have, she's like, Mom. She goes, I'm the youngest person here. And I'm like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You definitely need to be here.
Yeah, for sure.
And see the show.
Yeah.
I go, Bonnie Raitt is a woman, who is not a background singer.
Right.
She is a player.
Right.
She is she went out there and she's a lead player.
Yeah.
Who has voice, who has the chops, who has everything that she needs to bring to the table. And, and nobody can take that from her. She's like an artist.
And she did it for a long time before anyone noticed.
That's exactly it. And I was like, you are coming to see this person.
Oh, hell
you
yeah.
know? And now, of course.
And Taj Mahal's no slouch either.
Exactly.
I love Taj.
Yeah. But the two of them together were just,
that's crazy.
It was an amazing show.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was wonderful. And like I said, my daughter was just like, whatever, at the time.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
And now, she's a huge music fan. Huge.
Oh, good. That's cool.
She is very much a music.
So it was a good thing.
Yeah.
Just
she
loves
music.
Your music though, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know if she just has to do that because I'm her mom.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to say at this point.
Imagine?
But like I mean, my daughter likes like Big Thief.
Yeah.
It's one of her favorite bands.
Yeah, that's cool.
And she just got all her preschoolers from a lottery or something to go to one of their rehearsals.
Oh, wow.
She got to take her whole preschool
class. Wow. Oh, that's crazy.
To a rehearsal of that band, which is her favorite
band.
Yeah. Because they picked her.
Huh.
And so the kids got to play all the instruments.
Hey, that's
These are
cool.
3-year-olds playing all the instruments, put the headphones on, like did all this cool stuff in their in their rehearsal space or whatever. And she said it was the best day of her life.
Hey.
To be able to have her band.
Yeah, right. Right.
She kind of knew some of the members and everything. She's talked to them before or whatever.
Yeah.
But to have her preschool class like come for a couple of hours and hang out and play on the instruments and stuff.
That's killer.
It was absolutely killer.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Desert island food.
Oh, that's so hard.
Wow.
I mean, my favorite food.
Yeah.
Okay, so
sure.
My favorite food, like I like eggplant parm.
Wow.
I am a fan of eggplant parm. I test restaurants on eggplant parm.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
If I like go to a restaurant and I'm thinking I've never tried anything on the menu, if they have eggplant parm, like I will try that.
And
first.
then you'll be like, okay, this place is good or not.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's fine.
It's just that's like my go-to, I guess. If I
Crazy.
absolutely have to pick something, and it's usually pretty good in most places, but
Yeah.
And then I was a big fan of sushi, a huge fan of sushi.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, and I still have to figure this out. I get sick.
Really?
I don't know what happened to me a year ago.
Huh.
And then I went to a doctor, and I'm like, I don't want to be sick.
Yeah, yeah.
Eating sushi.
Yeah.
I mean, I was throwing up sick.
Wow.
And it'd be like a couple of hours after I ate it.
I guess bodies change, right?
And I was like, I don't know what hhappened to me. And my doctor said, it's probably the wasabi. They don't make it really. It's like technical. Like now they're making it at factories and all that stuff. Like whatever. They like don't eat the wasabi. And I was like, okay. And nope.
No?
No.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a certain fish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or if it's a certain thing.
Or maybe you changed. I was just saying, some people,
I don't know.
have hay fever and then they don't.
I don't know, but it bothers me so much because I was like, I loved it. I would like crave it and want to go to a restaurant and eat sushi.
Yeah.
And now I'm like,
that's a drag.
I'm not sure about that. Like, or I'll try it out again and see, like, if I'm in a safe place.
Yeah,
I
right.
can think like, okay, I don't mind if I get sick.
Yeah, yeah.
Today is all right. I'll check it out again.
That's a drag.
Yeah, that was bad.
Huh.
And I don't know. That's pretty much, I think, my food choices. I mean, I'm not a huge meat eater or anything like that.
Yep.
But so I guess I'd be good on a desert island, but foraging.
Yeah. Can you think of any particular concert? You might already answered this, but some of these questions are just in case it didn't come up that you saw in your life that changed the course of you were like that.
Well, I was always surprised because in high school, I didn't really understand the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
Yep. And I listened to I was listening to like heavy metal,
sure.
and, like all that stuff, And I thought, who are these people? Like, why is everyone walking around talking about the dead,
Yeah, yeah.
And then my mom dropped me off at the Hartford Civic Center because I had a ticket to the Grateful Dead,
sure.
and picked me up after the concert.
Oh boy.
And I went, and I mean, I listened to the music a little bit, and I thought, this is like not what I expected.
Oh,
I
really?
expected it to be like hard, rock or whatever,
or
something. And it was like this bouncy, trippy stuff.
Huh.
And I thought, wow, and I am not a Deadhead. Like I cannot call myself a Deadhead, but I definitely went to some shows.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the interesting part of it is I'm probably not the only person, but we went completely straight.
Wow.
Like I don't drink.
Yeah.
And I smoked pot when I was in middle school.
Sure.
But I don't drink and I don't do, drugs.
Yeah.
And I was completely straight at all of those concerts.
you're
I
the
was
only
the driver. I know.
Yeah, right.
And, people are doing nitrous and people are doing all kinds of crazy stuff, mushrooms, whatever,
So
LSD.
you know the old joke then.
I don't know the old
joke. The one person that was sober at the Grateful Dead concert goes, "Hey, this music sucks," but you're saying not true.
No,
you were
not
the one
to me.
That
but I will say,
Yeah.
like I'm not, and I'm gonna probably put my foot right in my mouth when they have an hour long. You probably love this, but like hour-long drum solos.
No.
I'm like, I'll dance around for a while, but
no.
Maybe you need to be on drugs for that part of it, like because I'm like I understand the drums, like I understand the beat, and I love to be like to me like drums is like Johnny Clegg, African, the African drums.
Sure.
My kids listen to that growing up. My kids could sing, Savuka songs.
Yeah.
They were singing them in the car in like foreign languages. It was so funny.
That is
and
funny.
I mean, we didn't know what they were saying, but my kids could imitate the songs.
Yeah.
Because we'd listen to it so much in the car, and I was always listening to like that with my kids.
Yeah, that's killer.
Yeah, and it was amazing drums, right?
Yeah.
That was not the Grateful Dead drums.
Right, right.
That was not like the same style at all.
Yeah.
And those move me. Like that music moves me.
Yeah, I don't know what they're up to.
Yeah.
I can't say I always understand it. But anyway, hey, we got to fly.
All right. Well, I appreciate this so much.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Yeah.
This was like, I'm an amazing company of the people that you've brought in, which is, so amazing to me. So I am honored actually to be here as well.
No problem. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Glad you feel that way. Yeah, no problem. All right. I'm going to press the button. You ready?
I'm ready.
Don't get scared. Terri Lachance was here. And you're going to be all kinds of places, all over the place. Look for her. We'll figure out how to track you down. Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, John Peckman Podcast. I already said that part. Connecticut Valley School of Music and Peckman and John. Go over the bridge and go to Peckman John and across the thing. Wow, what a mess. Okay, sorry. Hey, look, there's dead air. Here, I'll start the thing again. All right, hey, John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Come over. Thanks for coming, Terri. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Listen, Dave will tell you how you could do this. Clearly, anybody can. A little punchy today, kids. All right, hey, thank you, Terri. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.
And that is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.